Get ready for a PlayStation overload. Access episode 32 is here and rocking an awesome lineup, including first-person shooters galore at the EA Showcase in London, a trip to BAFTA for a look at this Ghost Recon-themed short film, and a roundup of all the week's hottest PS3 news. First, though, we're snapping down the sights for our Whack-A-Nazi game of the week, Sniper Elite V2. Whoever came up with the name Sniper Elite V2 is a right old clever clogs. Not only is this a game where you play as a sniper who's really elite at what he does, shooting people through the eye socket from far away, but it's also version 2 of the 2005 original. Genius! And V2 also refers to Sniper Elite's plot, which sees OSS operative Carl Fairburn dropped into 1945 Berlin to mop up the evil scientists responsible for the V2 rocket program. Go America! The last thing anyone wants is a horrific weapon to go off at the end of World War II. Naturally, stopping these scientists is less about diplomatic negotiations and more about hiding in derelict towers and firing pointy lengths of lead through their vitals. That is going to look all kinds of nasty at the Nazi post-war knees up. The game isn't much of a looker, but as Mum always said, it's what's on the inside that counts. If there's one thing Sniper Elite V2 does better than any other game in the history of ever, it's swooping in with a super slow-mo X-ray cam and capturing every gory nugget of splintered bone and punctured lung. Cue the contrapuntal music, sound mixer. Lovely. And that's pretty much Sniper Elite V2, a sea of Nazi grunts standing a long way away, waiting for you to lower your heartbeat, steady your aim and send a high-velocity sniper round crunching through their innards. Moving between vantage points provides a stealthy challenge, as Fairburn isn't particularly well endowed in the close-quarters combat stakes. I'd keep that pistol in your trousers, mate. But he does come packing trip mines and grenades for an explosive defence. And rocks. Infinite Nazi fuddling rocks. Fetch! Chump. The game launches on May the 4th and is pretty much essential for anyone with an interest in long-range shooting and or broken human anatomy. News, glorious news, Thrones, Sonic and Kratos. Yeah, that's enough of that. Here's your PlayStation briefing. Winter is coming! Well, no it isn't. But Game of Thrones, the role-playing game, most certainly is. It's based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books rather than the fleshy TV spin-off, and sees you ploughing through Westeros in a story running parallel to the events of the first novel. The burning question, will it have loads of bonking in it? Well, lead designer Sylvain Secchi, will it?
We used to describe Game of Thrones as death, politics and prostitutes, and you will find that in the game.
That'll do. Guess who's back? Yes, tell a friend. Old angry Spudface is here for another limb-ripping yarn in God of War Ascension. This time it's a prequel though, charting Kratos' life before he got all shouty, had chains soldered into his arms and became a god. Oh, I bet he used to be a right softie. Yeah, bets off. We'll have more on Ascension very soon. Also making a triumphant return is Sonic, in his biggest mouthful of a title to date. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed! This cartoon karting sequel sees the spiky blue wonder whizzing through land, sea and air, as explained by producer Joe Neate.
We've made 3 games in one here. We've made proper flying, we've made proper boating, and we've made a really kind of advanced version of the karting in the last game.
And that's your PlayStation briefing done for another week. We'll hit you with more news next time. Hitting download town now, it's your roundup of the week's best on the straw. Skulls and girls are right up there with bananas and hats on our list of things that shouldn't really go together. But then along comes a game called Skullgirls to prove we're all numpties. As with any 2D brawler, there's partial nudity and not very partial violence, mixed with a fruity manga art style and a snappy combo system. Pick it up from the store today. Meanwhile, we're off to pitch banana hats. While we wait for the offers to start pouring in, there's a very special God of War offer on the store right now. Hooray! This means you can snap up God of War HD Collection Volumes 1 and 2 on the cheap, plus bag yourself some fancy avatars while you're at it. If Mass Effect 3 ignited your lust for interspecies space romps, then imagine Commander Shepard as a cartoon. And now a bit older, with a moustache, longer hair, a cowboy hat, and a theme tune that sounds a bit like Bucky O'Hare. See? Awesome Noughts is exactly the same, but a bit more awesome and naughty, and also on the store. Download this cosmic 2D platformer today. And finally hitting PS Vita after previously being available only as a pre-order bonus is the utterly essential Frobisher Essays, a hilarious mishmash of darkly comic minigames guaranteed to smack you in the funny bone and make you gawp in amazement at all the wonderful things your Vita can do. That's all from the store for now. We'll have more downloadables for you next week. We're at BAFTA for this week's bonus level, but shh, it's all top secret. Oh, go on then. We were there for a special screening of Ghost Recon Alpha, a short film inspired by the Clancy-branded game series. After soaking up the A-grade silver screenage, we caught up with the directors to ask how the film captures the essence of Ghost Recon.
We decided to tell a story that was a very classic mission, assassination mission that goes off the rails and then that turns into something that becomes very intense and looks like a gaming experience.
Ubisoft's Adrian Lacey and Jean-Marc Geoffroy were also on hand to talk about how the movie connects to the upcoming Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
More or less, you will have two guys in the movie that you will find also in the games.
There's also little like secrets and hints, and we've tied a few little bits and bobs together as well, just to make it interesting for the people who are going to see it.
Thanks, chaps, and we'll have more on Future Soldier very soon. Just when we thought there were no EA games to look forward to now Harry Potter's finished, look! Here we are at a secret London location to view a packed lineup of guns, aliens and extra guns as the publisher wowed us with its plans for 2012. Codbother of Battlefield 3 was there, outlining plans for 3 final DLC drops: Close Quarters, Armoured Kill and Endgame. We asked executive producer Patrick Bark if he's a team player or more of a lone wolf.
I don't have the patience to lie still and wait for the enemy, so I rather run up and shoot them. So Recon is not my playstyle.
Is that a long way of saying you're rubbish? Picking up the torch from Battlefield 3 at the end of the year will be Medal of Honor Warfighter. The Spec Ops-focused shooter is now running on Battlefield's Frostbite 2 engine, adding serious visual firepower to the game's behind-the-headlines scenarios.
We're utilizing, what suits our gameplay the best can suit. So you will see some destruction. We're calling it micro-destruction because we want it to be sort of more personal, up close for the player. We're also adding our own twist. We have like an entire ocean water technology that we've applied to Frostbite to help further that.
Finally, we caught up with super-trousered threequel Crisis 3, showing off a new junglified New York setting and the return of the first game's hero, Prophet. Even though we thought he was dead.
Depends on how you define alive, right? And with nanosuits, in a world with nanosuits and aliens, the thing about life and death will slightly differ from the reality that you and I live in, right?
So if no one's ever really gone, maybe Harry Potter will come back. No? Fine. Thanks to EA for sharing what looks like a cracking lineup. And so long, Harry. We'll never forget you. Who was I talking about? I've already forgotten him. Before we say goodbye for another week, we'll say hello once again from the war-ravaged streets of Berlin, where sniper Carl Fairbairn has been bursting to show off some of his more underhand tactics. Gents, be warned, things are about to get painful, because successfully aim a shot at the other type of Nazi private and you'll be treated to a slow-motion snap of popping testicle tissue. Splat! And that, children, is why there are no more National Socialists. See you next week!